Hello everyone. I'm Natasha, your host for today. If you're new here, I'd like to let you know that we upload a brand new English learning video every day to help you become more fluent, more confident, and more natural in your English speaking journey. In today's lesson, we're diving into a powerful topic that's going to change the way you sound in English. We're going to explore the most used words that Americans use in everyday life and how you can learn to use them naturally, so you sound just like a native speaker. This video will not only help you improve your vocabulary, but also your listening and speaking skills. You'll hear real-life usage examples, understand how these words work in context, and get the chance to practice along with me. These aren't fancy words from textbooks. These are the everyday, real American English words, the kind you'll hear at the store, at work, on the phone, and even when hanging out with friends. By the end of this video, you'll have a much better understanding of how Americans speak and how you can sound just like them. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss any of our English learning episodes. Alright, grab a pen and paper, and let's get started. Let's begin by talking about one of the most important things in sounding like a native speaker: how you use everyday vocabulary. In American English, the most commonly used words might sound simple, but the way they're used in different situations makes all the difference. Americans don't always speak in complete textbook sentences. They often use contractions, casual expressions, filler words, and phrases that show ease, familiarity, and fluency. So, if you really want to sound like an American, you need to learn how these words work together in real conversations. It's not just about knowing the word. It's about knowing how and when to use it, and what kind of tone or feeling it adds to your sentence. Let's take a look at the word like. Now, this word is incredibly common in American English. People use it in all sorts of ways. It can mean similar to, but it's also used as a filler, to introduce examples, to express emotions, or even just to show hesitation. For example, someone might say, I was, totally shocked, or she looks like her sister, or let's do something fun, like going to the movies. You see how appears in these different places. In American English, using naturally makes you sound more relaxed and more fluent, but you also need to be careful not to overuse it. Here's a quick practice exercise. Repeat after me. He's like my best friend. Now try this. I was really tired after the trip. And one more. We could do something fun, like a picnic. Notice the pauses and rhythm. Practicing with your voice and matching the flow of these sentences is key to sounding more American. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on comfort and repetition. The more you hear and say these types of phrases, the more natural they'll feel. Another word you'll hear a lot is just. Americans love using this word to soften what they say or make it sound more casual or friendly. For example, instead of saying, I want to ask a question, someone might say, I just wanted to ask something. It sounds less direct and more polite. Just can also mean only, as in, I just need 5 minutes. Or it can mean recently, like, I just got here. It's small, but powerful. Let's do some practice with this one. Say out loud with me, I just wanted to say thank you. Try this one. Can I just ask one quick question? And now, I just saw her at the store. Again, think about the tone and speed. In American English, we often speak in a way that's smooth and connected. That's why these practice sentences are so helpful. They train your mouth and ears to move and hear English, the way Americans use it. Now let's move on to one of the most important words in American conversations, really. Americans use this word for emphasis, to show surprise, interest, or to strengthen what they're saying. It's one of those words that has so many emotional layers. For example, you might hear someone say, that's really cool, or I really like that movie. But it can also be a question, like, really? You did that. It's casual, expressive, and totally natural in everyday life. Let's practice using really. Repeat these sentences with me. I really like this place. That was really fun. Really? I didn't know that. Feel the emotion in your voice when you say really. It can change how your sentence feels. American English is emotional and expressive. That's what makes it sound alive. Another small but powerful word is so. It's often used for emphasis, like I'm so tired or that's so funny. It can also be used to connect thoughts. So, what are you doing tonight? It's one of those words that shows how American English flows from one idea to the next in a conversation. You'll hear so at the start of sentences a lot, especially when people are trying to continue or transition in a chat. Let's try some sentences with so. Repeat after me. I'm so happy right now. That's so interesting. So, are you coming to the party? Pay attention to the rhythm and how so adds feeling or helps you move from one sentence to the next. This kind of speaking rhythm is what gives American English its natural vibe. Now, let's talk about well. This is one of the most used words in spoken American English. But it doesn't always mean something concrete. A lot of times, it's just a way to start or soften a sentence. For example, someone might say, well, I'm not sure, or well, let me think about it. It helps people ease into their thoughts, or it gives them a second to decide what they want to say next. Repeat these examples with me. Well, I guess that makes sense. Well, we could try something new. Well, I didn't expect that. Practice using this word at the beginning of your sentences when you're not ready to give a full answer or you want to make your speech sound more thoughtful and casual. Next is the word actually. This word is great for correcting information, expressing your real opinion, or introducing a new idea that might be different than expected. For example, actually, I don't think that's right, or actually, I liked the movie. It's polite, but also clear and very common in American speech. Let's go through a few practice examples. Actually, I'm not free tonight. Actually, that's a good idea. Actually, it was easier than I thought. Repeat them with me and listen to how actually changes the tone of the sentence. It makes it sound more confident, more thoughtful, and more like real American conversation. We also need to talk about the phrase kind of. Americans use this a lot when they want to soften what they're saying, or when they aren't totally sure. For example, I kind of like it means you like it, but maybe not 100%. Or he's kind of funny means he's funny in a way that's maybe unexpected or not super strong. Now practice with me. I kind of want to stay in tonight. She's kind of amazing. That kind of surprised me. Again, think about the tone. American English is full of little words that help you say things in a softer, more friendly, more relaxed way. That's why these examples are so important for your fluency. Let's try to put some of these words together in a small story. Imagine you're talking to a friend on the phone. You say, "Hey, I just got home. I'm so tired. Today was really crazy. My boss was like super intense, and I was kind of stressed all day. But actually, it ended okay. We finished early. So, I'm thinking of just watching a movie. Want to come over?" You see how natural that sounds. This kind of speaking is what you'll hear in real American life, every single day. Let's now talk about the word you know. This is one of the most casually used expressions in spoken American English. You might have heard people saying it was, you know, kind of unexpected, or he's, you know, just really cool. This phrase doesn't have a specific meaning in these sentences, but it acts as a filler to keep the rhythm going, or to check if the listener is following. It can also show hesitation, comfort, or shared understanding. It's used in friendly conversations, in interviews, and even in storytelling. Learning how to use you know naturally is an important part of sounding fluent in casual American speech. Let's practice a few lines together. Repeat after me. It's you know, not that simple. Try this one. She was, you know, really helpful during the project. And one more. I think it's, you know, something we should consider. While practicing, pay attention to your voice and pause slightly before and after you know. That's how it flows in everyday conversation. The key is not to overthink it, just say it as part of your natural rhythm. Don't force it. With regular practice, it becomes second nature. Another very common and useful word is thing. It sounds vague, but Americans use it constantly. It can refer to an object, a situation, an event, or even an idea. For example, someone might say, "The thing is, I'm not ready yet," or it's just a thing people say, or even, what's that thing you used to do on weekends? This word is like a catch-all for something you can't name specifically, or don't want to explain in detail. The flexibility of thing makes it very useful in spontaneous conversation. Let's practice using thing. Repeat after me. That's the thing I was talking about. Now say, the thing is, I'm not sure about that. And another, I liked the way you explained the whole thing. When you practice these lines, try to sound casual and relaxed. The more natural your tone, the more American your English will sound. Now let's move on to one of the most natural-sounding expressions, I mean. It's used to explain something more clearly, correct yourself, or emphasize a point. Americans say I mean when they want to clarify or expand on what they just said. For example, I didn't love the movie. I mean, it was okay, but not amazing, or I mean, you could try calling her again. It's a useful phrase that softens your statement and makes your speech flow more naturally. Repeat these with me. I mean, that's not what I expected. I mean, it could work if we try hard. I mean, she didn't say no exactly. This phrase often comes with a slight pause after it, helping to separate thoughts or emphasize emotion. That pause is part of the rhythm of American speech. So listen carefully and practice it until it becomes comfortable. Another word that pops up constantly in conversations is stuff. It's informal and often used to talk about things in general, when you don't want to be specific, or when there are too many details to list. You'll hear people say things like, I've got a lot of stuff to do today, or she left her stuff at my place, or we talked about all kinds of stuff. It's casual, relaxed, and sounds perfectly natural in daily life. Let's do some practice with stuff. Say, I'm busy with work and other stuff. Try, we need to pack up our stuff before leaving. And one more, there's some good stuff in this book. Notice how easy and smooth these lines sound. American English often avoids being too formal in everyday conversations, and stuff helps keep things light and easygoing. Now let's discuss a pair of extremely common phrases, gonna and wanna. These are informal contractions of going to and want to, and they're used constantly in spoken American English. Saying, I'm gonna go now instead of I am going to go now is more natural and conversational. Likewise, I want to eat something is what you'll hear in regular chats. Instead of the more proper, I want to eat something. These words may not appear often in formal writing, but they're everywhere in real-life speech. Repeat after me, I'm gonna call him later. Now say, do you want to hang out tonight? Try this. I want to learn more about that. These phrases make you sound fluent and modern. American English speakers use them without thinking. So the more you practice, the more automatic they'll become for you too. Another phrase you'll hear a lot is hang out. This means spending time with someone in a relaxed, informal way. You might hear people say, do you want to hang out later? Or we were just hanging out at her place. It's used for friendly, casual gatherings, not work or formal meetings. It helps you sound friendly, sociable, and in tune with American lifestyle. Practice with me. Let's hang out this weekend. We hung out at the mall. I like hanging out with my cousins. Saying hang out in the right tone can make you sound like you really understand American culture and how friendships work in that environment. Now let's focus on some small, yet powerful linking words. The word anyway is very commonly used to change the topic, wrap up a conversation, or go back to a main point. It helps move the conversation along smoothly. For instance, someone might say, anyway, let's get back to the point, or anyway, I should get going now. It's very helpful when you want to shift focus or gently close a discussion. Say these with me. Anyway, it's getting late. Anyway, let's try again tomorrow. Anyway, what were we talking about? Practicing this kind of transition word gives you the tools to manage conversations like a native speaker. Let's also look at the word literally. It's often used for emphasis, even if not always in its strict meaning. You'll hear people say, I literally ran into him at the store, or she was literally glowing. It's meant to express strong feeling, surprise, or urgency, even if the situation isn't exactly literal. It's a very expressive word in American slang and daily speech. Try practicing with me. I literally can't believe that happened. It was literally the best day ever. He literally said that to my face. Use it to sound expressive, lively, and natural. But remember, don't overdo it. Too much literally can sound exaggerated. And here's another word, cool. This word is an all-time favorite in American English. It's used to express approval, agreement, or something that's impressive. That's cool, you're cool, sounds cool. These are super common and very friendly expressions. Cool can describe things, people, ideas, or events. It's one of the most versatile words in American conversations. Practice with me. That movie was so cool. Cool, I'll see you later. She has a cool style. Using cool appropriately can help you connect with others more easily, especially in casual settings. Let's try to put everything we've learned so far into a simple, everyday dialogue. Imagine you're talking to a friend who just got a new job. You say, wow, that's so cool. I mean, I literally didn't expect that. You've been, working hard and stuff. So, what's the next thing you're gonna do? The friend replies, well, I just want to relax for a bit. I was kind of stressed. Anyway, let's hang out this weekend. You answer, sure, that sounds really fun. I'm gonna bring some food and stuff. This conversation includes many of the most commonly used words and phrases. And with enough practice, you'll be able to sound just as natural. Let's move on and explore how Americans use small expressions to react, show emotions, or keep a conversation flowing. One of the most commonly used expressions is, no way. This phrase is often used to show surprise, disbelief, or even excitement. If someone tells you something shocking or unexpected, the natural American reaction might be, no way. Are you serious? It doesn't literally mean there's no possible way. It's just a casual, emotional reaction to something surprising or interesting. Let's practice a few examples. Repeat after me. No way. That really happened. Now try. No way, I didn't know that. And one more. No way. That's amazing. Say them with emotion and rhythm. American English is full of feeling. Your tone matters just as much as your words. When you practice, don't just say the words, say them with the energy or mood that matches the meaning. Another phrase you'll often hear in American conversations is, I guess. It's usually used when someone is not completely sure or wants to sound less direct. For example, instead of saying, I don't like it, an American might say, I guess I'm not really into it. It softens the opinion and keeps the tone friendly. Or someone might say, I guess it's okay, which means they're not super excited, but don't dislike it either. Let's practice this together. I guess we could try it. Now say, I guess she didn't know. And another, I guess I'll go home now. Listen to how I guess adds a feeling of uncertainty or politeness. You'll hear this a lot in American TV shows, movies, or daily conversations. Add it to your speaking to sound more natural and relaxed. Now let's talk about you guys. This is one of the most common ways to address a group of people in American English, especially in informal situations. For example, instead of saying, how are all of you? Someone might say, how are you guys doing? It's friendly, simple, and commonly used whether you're talking to 2 people or 10. Some regions say y'all, but you guys is much more widely used in general American English. Let's try some examples. Are you guys ready? Say, you guys want something to drink? Try this one. You guys were amazing today. When you use you guys, you immediately sound like someone who's part of the conversation, not outside of it. It's how Americans naturally speak to groups of friends, classmates, coworkers, or even strangers. Next, we'll look at kind of and sort of again, but this time focusing on how they are used to express mild emotions or uncertainty. These expressions help Americans sound less forceful and more approachable. For instance, someone might say, I'm kind of tired, or it's sort of interesting, to show they don't feel strongly either way. It's a way of speaking that keeps things light and non-judgmental. Practice these with me. I'm kind of nervous about it. That movie was sort of boring. I kind of like the new design. Say them slowly and try to feel the difference between strong and soft opinions. That soft tone is a big part of American communication, especially when you're not trying to argue, but just share your thoughts gently. Let's now talk about the word pretty. Not just as in beautiful, but as a way of saying fairly or somewhat. Americans say things like, pretty good, pretty tired, or pretty sure. It's more casual than saying very and sounds more natural in conversations. For example, I'm pretty excited about the trip, or it was pretty hard to finish on time. You'll hear this all the time. Let's practice together. Repeat. That's pretty cool. Now, I'm pretty sure he said yes. And one more. This coffee is pretty strong. You see how natural that sounds? Using pretty in this way makes your speech sound casual and modern. Another everyday American expression is figure out. It means to solve something or understand it. Instead of saying, I solved the problem, an American might say, I figured it out. It's more conversational and common in day-to-day speech. For example, I'm trying to figure out what to eat tonight. Or, she figured out the answer really fast. Now let's try it. I need to figure out how to fix this. Did you figure out the directions? He's trying to figure it out. Practice with a slight stress on figure. These types of phrasal verbs make you sound more fluent and connected to the way English is spoken every day in America. Now, let's look at one of the most essential phrases in casual conversation. It depends. This short phrase is often used when you want to say that something is not always the same. For example, do you like working from home? You might say, it depends. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Or, do you want to go out? It depends on the weather. This expression shows that you're thinking and being flexible. It's often used to avoid giving a direct yes or no. Practice these with me. It depends on my schedule. It depends how I feel. It depends if it rains or not. You're not giving a final answer. You're keeping the conversation open. That's a very American way of speaking, calm, thoughtful, and easygoing. Let's also look at what's up. This phrase is one of the most common informal greetings. It means, how are you, or what are you doing? But it's used more casually. You might hear, hey, what's up, or what's up with you? It's a friendly way to start a conversation without being too formal. The usual response is, not much, or just hanging out. Say these with me. Hey, what's up? What's up with that guy? Not much, what's up with you? Practicing these casual openings helps you sound friendly and natural. They are great icebreakers and used in everyday chats everywhere in America. Now let's focus on a word like basically. It's often used to summarize something or explain the most important part. For instance, someone might say, basically, we decided not to go, or basically, the idea is to save time. It helps simplify complex ideas and make them easy to understand. You can think of it as a shortcut to the main point. Repeat with me. Basically, we need to leave early. Basically, he's saying no. Basically, it's done. Practice using this word when you want to give someone a short version of a longer explanation. Finally, let's bring all of these into a mini conversation. Imagine two friends talking at a cafe. One says, hey, what's up? The other says, not much. Just trying to figure out my schedule. I'm kind of tired, but I guess I could hang out later. First friend replies, cool. I mean, it depends on the weather too. It's pretty nice today though. Second friend adds, yeah, basically, I just want to chill and do something fun. This kind of back and forth is how real Americans speak, simple, relaxed, expressive. You can practice this short dialogue by repeating both parts. Try changing some of the words and saying it in your own way. Maybe use different phrases like no way, or you guys, or it depends. The more you practice mixing these phrases, the more natural your English will become. Let's now dive into another super common expression in American English, all right or all right. This phrase has several meanings depending on tone and context. It can be used as a casual agreement, like when someone says, let's meet at 6, and you reply, all right. It can also mean everything is okay, like, everything's going to be all right. Or it can be used to move the conversation forward, all right, let's get started. It's an incredibly flexible phrase, and you'll hear it constantly in everyday American speech. Let's try using it together. Say, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Try, it's all right, don't worry. Now this one. All right, let's do this. Use a confident tone when it's a transition and a softer tone when it's used for reassurance. It's subtle, but tone makes a big difference in sounding native. Next, let's look at how Americans use the word actually again, but this time in more emotional and conversational ways. Earlier, we used it to correct information or give honest opinions. But it's also used to express surprise or add emphasis to something unexpected. For example, I actually liked that movie, or she actually called me back. The emotion here is subtle but important. It shows you're adding something honest or surprising to the conversation. Let's practice some of these examples. Say, I actually had fun at the meeting. Try, he actually remembered my birthday. And now, they actually agreed with me. Focus on the change in tone. It's soft but meaningful. That's the kind of tone American speakers use without thinking. But you can learn it through regular practice. Another very American word is literally, which we briefly touched on earlier. In American English, it's often used for drama or emphasis, even if the statement isn't completely literal. This is part of casual exaggeration that's normal in everyday speech. For example, I was literally shaking, or she literally screamed when she saw it. These are emotional expressions meant to create impact. You'll hear it constantly, especially among younger speakers. Try these with me. I literally jumped out of my seat. He was literally the nicest person ever. It literally took forever. Try saying them with a dramatic tone. You're exaggerating to emphasize how something felt, not necessarily what happened exactly. That's part of casual American communication. It's emotional and expressive. Let's also explore the phrase kind of like. Americans often use this phrase to describe situations or feelings that are difficult to explain directly. For example, it's kind of like when you forget your keys, but can't remember where you left them. Or, she's kind of like a big sister to me. It's a way to compare one thing to another in a soft, conversational tone. Let's say a few lines together. It's kind of like magic, how it works. That song is kind of like what we listened to in high school. He's kind of like the leader of the group. As you practice, try to stretch the word like slightly. It adds to the casual flow of the phrase. This is the rhythm of real American English. Now, let's focus on one of the most important elements in sounding American, reductions. These happen when two or more words are combined or shortened in natural speech. You've already seen examples like gonna, wanna, and gotta. But there are more subtle ones too, like did you becoming didya, or what are you becoming whatcha. For example, didya see that, or whatcha doing? Let's try some together. Repeat, didya go to the party? Now, whatcha thinking about? Another one, don'tcha know? Which means don't you know. It's important to note that these are not for formal writing, but in spoken English, they are completely normal. Practice saying them fast and smoothly. That's how Native American speakers sound natural in everyday life. Another great phrase to learn is I don't know, which is often shortened to I dunno. It's not lazy speech, it's just casual and fast. People say I dunno in many situations. For example, what time is it? I dunno. Or what should we do? I dunno, maybe get food? Practice with me. I didn't know what he meant. She was like, I dunno, acting weird. I dunno if I can go. These expressions show casual uncertainty, and you'll hear them all the time in American conversations. Learning to say them naturally will boost your fluency in a big way. Now let's explore a few very casual phrases that reflect the everyday personality of American English. Phrases like for real, no big deal, and you're good. These are all ways of sounding laid back and friendly. For example, is this seat taken? No, you're good. Or, thanks for waiting. No big deal. Or when someone asks if you're serious, yeah, for real. Practice saying, you're good, go ahead. It's no big deal, really. That was for real amazing. They might not be taught in textbooks, but these are the kinds of phrases you hear all the time in casual American conversations, at cafes, parks, offices, or even on the street. Another phrase to focus on is I'm down. It means you agree or you're interested in doing something. If someone says, Do you want to go hiking this weekend? And you say, I'm down, it means yes, you'd like to go. It's a cool and informal way to say yes. Try these with me. I'm down for whatever. You guys going to the concert? I'm down. If you're making coffee, I'm down. These phrases show social connection. Americans often use them to sound open, relaxed, and agreeable. Learning how to use them naturally helps you join conversations comfortably. Let's now move to another conversational favorite, sounds good. Americans use this to agree with a plan or suggestion. For example, let's meet at 7? Sounds good. Or, I'll bring snacks. Sounds good to me. It's short, simple, and super common. Practice saying, sounds good. Okay, sounds good to me. Friday at 6? Sounds good. These quick responses keep the conversation moving and show that you're comfortable with the flow. And what about I feel like? This expression is used to share opinions or describe thoughts in a gentle way. For example, I feel like he's not telling the whole story. Or, I feel like we've been here before. It's not about emotion, it's often about intuition or thinking. Repeat with me. I feel like we need to try again. I feel like she's upset. I feel like it's gonna rain. These lines let you express your ideas without sounding too strong or direct, which is an important part of American conversational style. Now let's try another mini-story combining several of the expressions we've just learned. Picture two friends sitting in a car trying to decide what to do. One says, so, what do I want to do tonight? The other says, I don't know. I feel like just chilling. First friend replies, cool, I'm down for that. Wanna grab tacos? Yeah, sounds good. You're good to drive. Yep, let's go. This is how real American English works. Quick, casual, friendly, and full of expressions that show agreement, interest, or simple everyday choices. To practice, you can try repeating both parts of the conversation. Or try switching out phrases. Instead of I don't know, say no idea. Instead of I'm down, say that works for me. This flexibility shows you really understand the flow of American English. Now, let's take a closer look at one of the most common American words, really. It's used everywhere. Americans use really not just to mean truly or actually, but to emphasize or exaggerate something. Instead of saying, I'm tired, you'll hear someone say, I'm really tired. Instead of it's cold, they say, it's really cold today. It gives the sentence extra emotion. Practice time. Say out loud with me, that movie was really good. Now change it up. That pizza was really delicious. I really like this shirt. Try to use really before adjectives and verbs to sound more natural. Americans love adding that emphasis. Another popular word you'll often hear is stuff. It's a casual way to refer to things, in general. Instead of saying, I have many things to do, an American might say, I have so much stuff to do. Or, I brought all my stuff. It can mean belongings, tasks, or even random items. Practice exercise. Try saying, I packed my stuff for the trip. She's talking about some weird stuff. I need to organize my stuff this weekend. You'll sound casual and fluent when you start using stuff like this. It's easy and very common in daily life conversations. Let's talk about the word gotta. It's actually a contraction of got to, and it means have to. For example, instead of saying, I have to go, you'll hear someone say, I gotta go. This is very American. It's informal and used in quick speech. Let's practice some sentences together. I gotta finish my homework. I gotta call my mom. We gotta leave in 10 minutes. You'll hear this in movies, TV shows, and real life. Start practicing using gotta when you're speaking quickly and casually. Next up is the word kinda, which is short for kind of. Americans use this when they're unsure, hesitant, or trying to be polite. For example, I'm kinda tired means I'm somewhat tired. It's kinda expensive means it's not too expensive but still a bit. Try these practice sentences. I kinda want to go out tonight. She's kinda mad at me. It's kinda cold in here. This softens your speech and makes it more natural in everyday American English. One of the most natural American habits is using short responses like yep, nah, uh-huh, and mm. These may sound like just sounds, but they're powerful in conversations. Yep means yes. Nah means no. Uh-huh or can mean yes or agreement, depending on the tone. Let's practice a small conversation. Do you want coffee? Yep. Did you finish your work? Uh-huh. Did you see that movie? Nah, not yet. Start adding these to your replies when chatting. It'll make you sound very American. Now, here's another phrase you'll hear in nearly every American conversation, you know. It's often used at the beginning or end of a sentence to keep the flow or to check understanding. For example, it was, kind of awkward. Or, you know what I mean? It helps to pause while still holding the listener's attention. Practice with me. He was acting weird, you know? It's not that simple, you know? I just want to be happy, you know? Don't overuse it, but placing it naturally will make your English sound smoother. Another everyday phrase is I mean. Americans say this when they want to clarify or explain further. Like, I didn't say that. Or, it's not bad, just different. It gives you time to think and adds a conversational tone. Practice examples. It's your choice. She did try her best. We can wait if you want. Try saying these slowly, then more naturally as you get the hang of it. You'll hear very often in friendly conversations. The phrase is incredibly common, especially among younger speakers. It's used as a filler, to compare, or to show hesitation. For example, I was, so surprised. It's like a dream come true. She's like, don't do that. Although it's casual and sometimes overused, learning to use in the right way helps you sound more natural. Practice a bit. It was, totally unexpected. He was, super angry. She's like a sister to me. Don't stress about perfect grammar here. This is about sounding like how real people talk. Let's shift to expressions of reaction. Americans love using expressions like, no way, seriously. That's crazy and oh my god to show emotions in daily conversation. These aren't formal, but they're part of how people express excitement, disbelief, or concern. For instance, I got the job. No way. That's awesome. Or, he crashed his bike? Seriously? Is he okay? These are very conversational. Try saying them aloud. No way. That's crazy. Oh my god, that's amazing. Try saying them with the emotion behind them because that's what makes them real and believable. Now, let's practice all of these in a small conversation to build fluency and confidence. Imagine you're on the phone with a friend who just got back from a vacation. They say, hey, I'm back. It was really awesome. You can reply, no way. I'm so glad you had a great time. Did you bring back any cool stuff? Then they say, yeah, I got some cool souvenirs. I'm kinda tired now, though. You respond, yeah, I get that. Traveling's exhausting. You gotta rest, right? Then they laugh and say, totally. I'm like a zombie today. See how natural that flow is? Practice having imaginary conversations like this. It builds your memory and your ability to use these words in real time. Another way to master American English is by repeating real conversations or clips from TV shows and movies. This technique is called shadowing. When you hear a sentence like, I'm gonna grab some coffee, pause and repeat it in the same tone and speed. Practice. I'm gonna grab some coffee. You wanna come? Nah, I'm good. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Try saying this entire exchange several times until it feels natural in your mouth. Focus not just on the words, but on the rhythm, the melody, and the pauses. American English has a musical flow, and once you feel that rhythm, your speaking improves a lot. Also, Americans love saying things indirectly, using polite or casual phrases. For example, instead of saying, help me, they say, could you give me a hand? Instead of saying, I don't understand, they might say, I'm not quite sure what you mean. This soft language helps in sounding friendly and natural. Let's try some transformations. Instead of close the door, say, could you close the door for me? Instead of tell me, say, would you mind telling me? These small changes make a big difference in how your English is received. Another incredibly common and useful word in American English is sure. You'll hear it everywhere, and it plays many roles in daily speech. For example, it can be used to agree, sure, I can help you with that. or to give permission. Sure, go ahead. It can also be used to express confidence. I'm sure it'll work out. Americans often use sure in casual interactions to keep conversations light and agreeable. For example, imagine someone says, "Can I borrow your pen?" The quick and friendly response would be sure. You can also say, "Yeah, sure," or "sure thing." Practice using this word in different tones and contexts to sound more natural. A practice sentence, "Sure, I'll be there by 6." Another, "Are you sure this is the right way?" Use these in your own practice to develop a natural American tone. Now let's focus on a phrase that truly defines American casual conversation, This phrase is often used to clarify something, give more detail, or even correct yourself mid-sentence. For example, "I didn't like the movie." The acting was fine, but the story was weak. It gives you a chance to pause and explain your thoughts more clearly. Americans use to soften what they're saying, or to make their tone sound more relaxed and informal. You can say, I don't mind helping out, but I have a lot to do today." Practice using it in your own examples. Try saying, "I was going to call you yesterday. I was just really busy." It helps you organize your thoughts while keeping your tone friendly and relatable. Next, let's work with the word really. Americans use really in so many ways to add emphasis, to express emotion, or to show interest. For instance, "I really like this song." Or, "That's really nice of you." It can also be used in questions. "Do you really think so?" or "Really?" "That's amazing." It adds excitement, surprise, and genuine feeling to your voice. When speaking, be mindful of how your tone rises with really. Try practicing this. "I really want to go to that concert." Or, "She's really good at painting." The more you use it, the more fluent and expressive your speech will become. Let's now look at kinda and sorta. These two are informal contractions of kind of and sort of. Native speakers use them in casual conversations all the time. For example, "I'm kinda tired today." Or, "It's sort of funny, don't you think?" These words help soften what you say, making it less direct or more relaxed. Instead of saying, "I'm tired," which is strong and direct, saying, "I'm kinda tired," makes it sound more casual. Practice with this example. "I'm kinda nervous about the meeting." Another, "It's sorta complicated to explain." These expressions are essential if you want to sound like a native American speaker. Another small but powerful word is though. It's often used at the end of a sentence to contrast or soften a statement. For example, "The food was good. It was a bit salty though." Or, "I didn't finish the project. I tried my best though." This use of though is extremely common and gives your sentences a more natural, conversational rhythm. It shows that you're thinking about both sides of something. Try using it like this. "She said she'd call. I haven't heard from her though." Or, "It's raining. I'm still going out though." Practice these in your daily conversations to get used to the placement and tone. Let's talk about the phrase "you know." Americans use "you know" not just to check if someone knows something, but also to fill pauses, invite agreement, or explain something better. For example, "I was really nervous, before the interview." Or, "It's hard to explain, This phrase adds a natural flow to your speech and helps maintain connection with the listener. Try saying, "It was, kind of awkward." Or, "We had a great time, Use it in your practice to become more fluent in casual speech. Another typical phrase is like. And we don't mean just the verb to like something, though that's common too. In casual American English, like is often used as a filler word or to show approximation. For example, "I was so tired after work." Or, "It took, forever to get there." It adds a relaxed and expressive tone, especially among younger speakers. Be careful not to overuse it. But using occasionally in casual contexts can help you sound more authentic. Practice this. "She was really surprised." Or, "There were 20 people in line." It's one of those small words that plays a big role in everyday American speech. Let's add some practice together, using a short daily story. Imagine this situation. You're at a coffee shop with your friend. You say, "Hey, I'm kinda hungry. "Want to grab something to eat?" Your friend says, "Sure, I'm down." You both walk over to the counter, and you say, "Everything looks so good. I'm not sure what to get." The cashier says, "You can try the turkey sandwich. It's really popular." You respond, "Cool, I'll go with that then." Later, your friend asks, "Did you like it?" You say, "Yeah, it was good. A bit salty though." These types of real, casual conversations are filled with everyday American words. Try saying this whole dialogue out loud to practice your rhythm and word choice. Another quick scenario: you're texting a friend and say, "Hey, wanna hang out later?" They reply, "Kinda busy today. Maybe tomorrow." You respond, "Sure, sounds good." The next day you say, "I'm free after 6, if that works." These are all natural phrases that sound smooth and native-like. The more you read, hear, and use them, the better you'll get at sounding American in your speaking style. Now let's revisit some of these words in a practice exercise paragraph. Try repeating after me or shadowing. "So, I was like walking to the store, and I saw this guy who looked kind of familiar. I wasn't sure if I should say hi or not. He smiled, though, so I waved. He was like, 'Hey, long time no see.' I said, 'Yeah, really. How've you been?' He said, 'I'm good, just busy with work. It was nice to see him again. I'm sure we'll catch up soon." Practice this paragraph multiple times and focus on the words and the flow. Now that you've practiced some of the most commonly used words and phrases in American English, you're already one step closer to sounding more fluent and natural when you speak. Remember, learning English isn't just about memorizing vocabulary or grammar rules. It's about building confidence through regular use, real-life practice, and listening to how native speakers actually talk. The words we covered today may seem simple, but they're the foundation of how Americans express themselves in everyday situations. Whether you're ordering food, asking for help, chatting with friends, or just trying to make small talk, these expressions will help you connect with others in a more authentic and relaxed way. If you keep reviewing these phrases regularly, practicing them out loud, and listening to them in conversations, you'll notice a big improvement in your listening and speaking skills. The more you immerse yourself in this kind of everyday English, the more natural it will feel. So keep going, you're doing an amazing job. Make time each day to listen, repeat, and use what you learn, even if it's just a few minutes. Little by little, those minutes will add up to real fluency. And before we end today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to English in Minutes and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson. We upload fresh and useful English learning content every single day. If you found today's video helpful, give it a like and share it with your friends. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep sounding more like an American every single day.